The Golden State Warriors haven't made a single move in this offseason to build a contender around Stephen Curry. So today I'm taking over as the team's GM and rebuilding the Warriors with the ultimate goal of winning Steph a championship. We're going to start off with a banger trade, getting rid of Jimmy Butler and his $56 million contract, and we bring in Michael Porter Jr., who has been rumored to join the Warriors for about the last 2 years, and now we're going to make that happen. I feel like his offense here with Curry will mesh perfectly, so let's go ahead and pull off the first trade of this video. At first, I was not planning on trading away Porzingis, but then the Miami Heat just offered us a trade that I cannot refuse. Bam Adebayo and Bobby Portis Jr. for Porzingis, Q Santos, and Draymond Green. Why would the Heat make this trade? I have absolutely no clue, and we're not here to win the Heat a championship. We're here to win the Warriors a championship. So let's go ahead and pull off the second trade of this video. We are starting off in the beginning of the 26-27 season, and now let's go ahead and take a look at our new rotation. So in the starting lineup, we currently have Stephen Curry, DeAnthony Melton, Michael Porter Jr., Bobby Portis Jr., and Bam Adebayo. Then off the bench, we have Brendan Pajemski, Moses Moody, Al Horford, and the rookie Yaxel Lenenberg. Before we go any further, I am still giving away a copy of NBA 2K27 and a copy of GTA 6, and all you have to do to enter is subscribe and turn on post notifications for my channel. The winners will be announced on the release dates, and now back to the video. Now, let's start simulating the first few games and see how this new team of ours does. Game number 1 is up against the Pelicans, and we actually end up losing the first game, but we do defeat the Hornets here in game 2, where Curry dropped 34, 24 Bam, 22 and 11 from MPJ, and 16 Bobby Portis Jr. Let's sim until November 1st here and see how our team does. It is going to take a little bit of time for chemistry to be built, but we do want to defeat the Clippers, Cavaliers, and the Lakers. 121-118 we defeat the Lakers, where Bam had himself a 31-point double-double, 23 from MPJ, and 18 Curry, 17 Pajemski as well. Starting out this season, we are rolling on a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under our head coach Steve Kerr. And now I'm going to go ahead and simulate until the trade deadline, where we most likely will be stopping to make some more trades. Stephen Curry is 38 years old, and he's not going to get any younger, which is why we're going to have to do everything in our power to win now before he retires. So we'll stop at the trade deadline and see which moves we should make. I have some amazing news for our team. We're stopping before the trade deadline and not to make any trades because our team has made the NBA Cup Finals. We're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's jump into Simcast here and see if we can go on to win the NBA Cup. We do have home court advantage on our side, and we do have the lead here so far, and it looks like we will be winning 103-83, MPJ with 24 and 12, 18 Curry, and 16 from the rookie. And Stephen Curry goes on to win NBA Cup MVP, averaging 27, 4, and 6 on 50, 40, 100 shooting splits. Let's go. Alright, so we're stopped here at the trade deadline, and right now our team is the number 1 seed with 37 wins and 11 losses, so we've been doing very well with this new roster of ours. Let's take a look at player stats and see if there's any positions we would like to upgrade. So far, Curry's out here averaging 25 points, 23 from MPJ, who's been amazing fit on our team, 48% from the 3-point line. 19 and 10 from Bam, 13 Pajemski, 11 Bobby Portis, and 10 from Moses Moody. If there is any position that I would like to upgrade, it's definitely the starting shooting guard role from DeAnthony Melton. He's only shooting 29% from the 3-point line, so let's see if there's any trades out there we can make to upgrade that position. We're talking with the Dallas Mavericks, and I feel like Max Christie could be the perfect fit as our starting shooting guard. He's a good perimeter defender, and this season he's averaging 13 points per game on 39% from the 3-point line. Let's see how many 3-pointers he's making. He's making about 2 3-pointers a game, and he does have an A- perimeter defense. So let's try and bring him in here for DeAnthony Melton, Mo Wagner's $17 million contract for Max Christie, and I believe this is a computer-generated player. They do decline, but I will go ahead and throw them a first-round pick, and just like that, we upgrade the starting shooting guard position. Position that I have been contemplating about upgrading is the power forward position. Do we get rid of Bobby Portis Jr.? It does say that he's giving us a negative impact in the estimated wins column, but his efficiency has been so good. I think we're going to roll with him for now. We'll see if he does not pan out with us. We will trade him in the offseason, but now let's go ahead and simulate until the end of this season or the contract extension. Never mind, thankfully I checked if we're able to extend Bobby Portis Jr. and he's on a player option and he's not really looking to re-sign with our team. So what we're going to do is see if we could trade him away here. If not, we will roll with him. But again, I don't want to lose him in free agency for nothing. I don't believe we're going to have the money to re-sign him this offseason. So let's see what we could get back in return. We're talking with the Charlotte Hornets about Naz Reid, who I feel like would be a perfect fit here on our team. We're going to be offering the Hornets Bobby Portis Jr. We also have to offer them Al Horford's contract to make the contracts match. In return, we get ourselves Naz Reid and Liam McNeely. Will the Hornets accept? Let's see. They do give us a counteroffer. They want a first-round pick and a player for Zion James. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win his first MVP, Cam Boozer Rookie of the Year, Lillard Sixth Man, Wemby also winning Defensive Player and Most Improved, Jokic Clutch Player, Mark Daigneault wins Coach of the Year, and the Thunder also going to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we get ourselves any All-NBA selections. We don't get Stephen Curry on an All-NBA team at all, but somehow Josh Giddey, well actually not somehow, his numbers were amazing, almost averaging a 20-point triple-double. Do we get anybody here on an all-defensive team? We do land Bam Adebayo on an all-defensive second team. And we did not end this season as a number 1 seed. We actually ended up as a number 2 seed with 58 wins and 24 losses. Since we traded for Naz Reid in the trade deadline, for some reason we went on a huge win-loss streak, which is why we ended up as a number 2 seed. Hopefully that does not continue into the playoffs, and now let's take a look at team and player stats. So our leading scorer was none other than Stephen Curry, averaging 23, 3, and 5. 21.5 points per game from MPJ, 18 and 10 from Bam Adebayo, 13 Naz Reid, 13 Podziemski, 13 Christie, 11 from Moses Moody. We had a lot of players here in double-digit scoring. And even though we had so many players in double-digit scoring, this is about to surprise you all here. So when it comes to offensive rating, we were the 10th best offensive rated team. I thought we were going to be a lot better than that, but place number 10, even though we had so many players in double-digit scoring. But defensively, we were the 4th best, so we had ourselves a very good defensive team, making about 16 three-pointers a game. And now it is finally time for the NBA playoffs, and in the first round, we're taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. In their starting lineup, they have Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy III, Sadiq Bey, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missi, with DeJounte Murray coming off of their bench unit. So let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we actually end up losing 121 to 115. Curry played amazing, but sadly that was not enough. We bounced back in game 2, ending up winning 33 from MPJ, 26 from Podziemski in only 19 minutes, and 25 from Curry. Game 3, we also secure the win. Curry dropping 35 and 12, 31 MPJ, 25 and 10 from Bam. We are up 2-1, and this is kind of crazy. So every series in the NBA playoffs right now is at 2-1, except for the OKC and Houston Rockets series. As you guys can see, every single series 2-1, including ours. Let's see what happens in the next game. And we end up winning the next game, going up 3-1, 146 to 116. We outscored them by 30 points. Stephen Curry with 39, 32 Bam, 21 MPJ. Now all we have to do is win one more game, which we do end up eliminating the Pelicans in Game 5. And whoa, I thought I excellently simulated the next round, but in Game 5, MPJ had 30, 25 Reid, 20, 11 from Bam, 17, 11 from Curry. And now in the second round, we've got ourselves a very tough opponent, the San Antonio Spurs with MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. In the same starting lineup basically, except for Harris, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Harris, and Wemby. And then off the bench, they have a pretty stacked team with an 88 overall Dylan Harper. Let's see how this goes. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Let's go. Curry dropping 41, 19 Bam, and 18 Christie. I do want to see how our starting lineup is doing so far. And Curry is averaging 30 points per game here in the playoffs, 10 from Max Christie. He is struggling a bit from the field goal, but I mean, his 3-point percentage has been there. 24 MPJ, 16 Naz Reid, and 21 from Bam Adebayo. A little question I am asking myself, do we think Bam Adebayo could lock up Victor Wembanyama? Wemby is a lot taller than him, but we all know that Bam Adebayo is a very good defender, so let's continue seeing how this goes. We also end up winning game 2, 112 to 110, 28 Curry, 22 and 13 from Bam, and 18 from MPJ. And Wemby still shot the ball amazing, 50%, but thankfully we were able to defeat them, and we go up 3-0 against the Spurs. This is not what I was expecting, but Bam's defense here was amazing. 6 of 18 for Wemby from the field with 4 turnovers, and we end up winning 133 to 112, where Curry had 31, 25 MPJ, and 25 Bam Adebayo. Can you imagine if somehow they come back from this 3-0 lead we have? That would be insane. But game number 4, we actually end up sweeping the Spurs. This is not how I expected this series to go. 106 to 104, we end up winning. 37 MPJ, 13 Curry, and 12 from Bam Adebayo. And we have made the Western Conference Finals. Curry is averaging 28 points per game here in the playoffs, 10 from Max Christie, 25 Michael Porter Jr., 15 Reed, and 21 Bam Adebayo. And now in the Western Conference Finals, we've got ourselves the Minnesota Timberwolves. The new duo of LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and the rest of the Wolves team, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. This here is their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up losing. 122 to 101. Curry played all right, but he did kind of struggle shooting the ball, and so did the rest of our team. Well, we did not play good defense at all, and we also going to lose game number 2. And now this is where I have to come up with a defensive coach game plan. A big mistake I've made that I'm now realizing is we don't have enough good perimeter defenders on our team. We only have 2 good perimeter defenders, Max Christie and Bam Adebayo. So somehow Bam is going to have to guard Anthony Edwards. Hopefully that works. If not this offseason, that's something we're definitely going to upgrade by bringing in some better perimeter defenders. The Timberwolves do have home court advantage for game 3, and so far we have the lead. They take it right back, and they're up right now, and they go up 3-0 against us. 124 to 117, we end up losing. And are we about to get swept? Thankfully, we don't get swept, and we also going to win game number 5, but we end up losing here in game 6 to get eliminated. Anthony Edwards, Western Conference Finals MVP, Karl Anthony Towns, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So in the finals, we have the Timberwolves taking on the New York Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns going up against his former team. Let's see which team goes on to win, and it will be the New York Knicks going on to win a back-to-back championship, with Karl Anthony Towns winning Finals MVP. So that's something we're definitely going to upgrade this offseason, bringing in some better perimeter defenders. And honestly, I'm not sure how that slipped my mind. I did not even know that we only have 2 good perimeter defenders. Here are the playoff stats in case you guys were wondering. 27 Stephen Curry, 26 MPJ, 20 from Bam, 14 Naz Reid, 11 Moses Moody, and 10 from Brennan Pajemski. When I traded for Max Christie, this is not what I had expected. Bro was shooting 36% from the field and 31% from 3. If he picks up his player option, he's definitely going to get traded right away. I do want to show you guys something. So I was taking a look at our roster, and right now we are able to extend players. So Stephen Curry is open to sign a contract extension. I'm going to go ahead and extend him. Hopefully he's down to take a little bit of a pay cut. Well, this is a massive pay cut. He's down to take about $37.5 million. Actually, he doesn't. He ends up declining that. What if we give him about $38 million? Would he accept that? Hopefully he does, and yes, he does. So we get Stephen Curry here on a massive discount. Max Christie is also open to sign a contract extension. I am going to extend and then trade him this offseason. 2-year extension, which he happily accepts. Michael Porter Jr.'s contract has also run out, which means he will be a free agent. We don't have ourselves any first-round picks, so let's go ahead and sim to team player options and see what we got to do here in free agency. Team player options. We could let Zion James walk. We don't really need him. The same for Will Richard, but we will pick up the team option for Liam McNeely in case we want to trade him this offseason. Qualifying offers, we also have to re-sign Brennan Pajemski. So right now, 2 of our big free agents is Brennan Pajemski and Michael Porter Jr. A quick little reminder, if you are enjoying this video so far, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and hype the video. All 3 buttons are free and it truly supports out the channel a ton. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and re-sign MPJ and Brennan Pajemski. At first, I was thinking we can try and clear up some salary and sign KD. But honestly, what we're going to do is go ahead and overpay MPJ and Brennan Pajemski. Well, not Brennan Pajemski, but we're going to overpay MPJ and then try and trade his contract this offseason. He only wants about $11 million, but we're going to go ahead and give him a $25 million. Actually, let's make that $30 million so we're able to flip for a good player in return. Pajemski, we're going to go ahead and give him what he wants, which is about $10 million annually. And both players will be accepting. We get MPJ on a 5-year, $174 million contract. The only reason I paid him that much is if we're able to trade him away for a salary that matches, we'll be able to get ourselves a better player in return. We do still have some money to sign some pretty good players. Like we could get CJ McCollum or Dante DiVincenzo. I'm going to go ahead and throw Dante DiVincenzo a contract. We'll do the same for Klay Thompson. Let's do a little reunion here. And the same for Draymond Green. Bring the big 3 of Steph, Curry, and Klay, and Draymond back on the Warriors. I don't know if they're going to be a part of the rotation. I don't think Klay will, but Draymond Green definitely has a possibility. We also get ourselves Dante DiVincenzo on a 2-year, $7.79 million contract. We are in need of a backup center, and Charles Bassey has actually played amazing for us when he did play. He was averaging about 15 and 13 per 36 minutes with 2 blocks on 66% from the field. So I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 2-year deal, paying him about $3.3 million. Will he accept? And yes, he does, on a 2-year, $6.8 million contract. And this here is the trade I could definitely get behind. The OKC Thunder were eliminated in the second round. Maybe they think it's time for a change to bring in a better offensive player in MPJ. And we get ourselves an amazing two-way player in Jalen Williams, who's a great perimeter defender. So we're going to make this trade happen with the OKC Thunder, sending them Michael Porter Jr. and Yaxel Lendenberg for Jalen Williams. And we also get ourselves a top 3 protected first-round pick. Naz Reid, I'm sorry we have to do this to you, pal, but we need ourselves some better defenders. So we're going to bring in Tamani Kamara from the Blazers. I don't want to give up on Klay Thompson since we just acquired him, but would they accept straight up Naz Reid for Kamara? Let's see. They want Klay Thompson pretty bad. What if we throw you a second round pick and that gets a trade done? We upgrade the power forward position with Tamani Kamara. And don't worry, I did not forget about Max Christie and his horrible playoff efficiency. If somehow we're able to make this trade happen with the Hawks, we're going to be an unstoppable team. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a good perimeter defender, 18 points per game on 38% from the 3-point line. I will also throw them a first-round pick here and see what they say. And they accept the trade. That means we've got ourselves Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Let's go. Alrighty, here we are at the start of this season with our brand new rotation. In the starting lineup, we have ourselves Stephen Curry, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Williams, Tamani Kamara, and Bam Adebayo. Then off the bench, we have Brendan Pajemski, Moses Moody, Charles Bassey, and Dante DiVincenzo running a 9-man rotation. And whereas last year we barely had any good defenders, this time around we have some very good defenders on our team, and I feel like we're going to thrive with the team that we have. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season to see how we do, and we end up winning 3 out of the first 4 games. 139 points here scored on the Blazers. In this game, Curry had 26 and 11, 26 from Nah, 26 J-Dub, and 26 from Bam Adebayo. Our system proficiency has also gotten better. This year we're rolling on a 4.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric, under our head coach Steve Kerr. And now let's get to simulating here, go until the trade deadline and see if there's any changes we need to make. But I feel like this year our team is going to be unstoppable because we have the perfect mix of offense and defense. And we honestly may go on to win a back-to-back NBA Cup from the looks of things. As soon as I said that, we lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves, so that means we're not going to the NBA Cup Finals. The Timberwolves actually going to make it. It is what it is, but we're still playing amazing right now as the number 3 seed with 19 wins and 7 losses, tied with the number 2 seed. I do want to tell you all a big change I made to our roster, and I'm also going to tell you guys why I made it, and it's actually been working. So Draymond Green has become our starting power forward, and his defense and playmaking has actually been amazing for our team. Ever since we've been starting him since February 20th, we've only lost 1 single game to the Chicago Bulls, but before that, we were starting to lose a lot of games. So I decided to make a change, and I completely forgot Draymond is still on the roster, and ever since adding him to the starting lineup, we've been on a big winning streak. And a big reason to why I feel like it has been working so great with Draymond, first of all, he already has that chemistry with Curry, and on top of that, he's an amazing playmaker and even better defender. We needed ourselves a good playmaker in the starting lineup, which now we have in Draymond Green. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win a back-to-back MVP. This dude, Rookie of the Year, DeJounte Murray 6-man, Wemby Defensive Player, Keaton Wagler, Most Improved, Luka Doncic Clutch Player, our head coach, Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year, and Mavericks go on to win Executive of the Year. Will we get ourselves any All-NBA selections? Nobody here on an All-NBA team. And this time we don't get a single award. Nobody on an All-NBA team or All-Defensive team. But that's okay because we ended this season as the number 1 seed with 58 wins and only 24 losses. And honestly, I did not think Draymond Green would be the answer. But before we added him into our lineup, we were losing a lot of games. And ever since adding him in the lineup, we've jumped up all the way to the number 1 seed, which is obviously amazing. For player stats, our leading scorer was Stephen Curry, averaging 23 points per game, 20-11 from Bam, 18 Nickeil, 17 J-Dub, 12 from Pajemski, and 10 from Tamani Kamara. Let's also take a look at team stats and see how our team's offensive rating and defensive rating was. So when it comes to offensive rating, this year we had the 12th best offensive rating with the number 1 best defensive rating. Let's go. And we were making about 14.5 3-pointers a game. And now it is time for the NBA playoffs, and in the first round, we've got ourselves the Houston Rockets. And their starting lineup, they have Reed Shepherd, Amin Thompson, KD, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up winning 28 Curry, 18-13 Bam, and 16 from Nickel. Game 2, we also end up winning. Bam with a 24-point double-double, 21 Curry, and 21 from Nah. Game 3, we do end up falling short here, 116-112. Curry played good, but sadly that was not enough. Game 4, the Rockets also go on to win, even though Curry had himself 45 points. Our defense here was awful. I am going to come up with a defensive coach game plan, and then we'll advance to Game 5. Defensive coach game plan has been set. Let's see what happens here in Game 5. We will be jumping into Simcast, where we do have home court advantage on our side. We start off the first quarter very strong, and we do have the lead currently, but they are pushing back here in the fourth quarter. Slow this down a little bit and see what happens. Tie game, 130 remaining, 119-117. And we end up winning by 3 points. Thankfully, we did not allow them to come back there in the fourth quarter. Nickel had 25, 23 Curry, and 22-13 from J-Dub. But we still have to win one more game in order for us to make it to the second round. We don't have home court advantage this time around, but we do have the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 126-114. And whoa, Curry went off here for 41 points. 22 from Kamara, 16-point double-double from Bam, and 12 from Nickel Alexander-Walker. And now we've made it to the second round of the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, the Spurs were the same team, or actually no, we defeated the Spurs last year. We actually swept them. And in their starting lineup, they have Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Champagnie, and Wemby, with De'Aaron Fox as their sixth man. Still very stacked team. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Nah dropping 28, 27 Curry, 13 J-Dub. Game 2, we also win. Game 3, we also win. We might just sweep the Spurs for the second time in a row. Curry with 29 points, 25 J-Dub, and 24 from Bam. In game number 4, we just ended up sweeping the Spurs for the second year in a row. Bam Adebayo with 28 points, 26 Curry, and 18 from Jalen Williams. I can just imagine all the critics right now bashing Wemby for being a 2-time MVP for the last 2 seasons, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and both times getting eliminated to our team, the Golden State Warriors. But now we've made it to the Western Conference Finals, and this time around, we are taking on the Dallas Mavericks. In their starting lineup, they have TJ McCollum, Connell, Keldon Johnson, Zachary Riche, Cooper Flagg, and Morris Johnson Jr. Not a bad team whatsoever. They were the number 3 seed. How many games did they win? So yeah, they weren't much off from where we were. They only won 2 less games than we did, which means, of course, they are a very good team. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Bam with 25, 24 J-Dub, 23 Curry. We also win game 2, and yes, we can. J-Dub going off here for 34 points, 24 Curry, 20 from Nah. Game number 3, we do end up losing. 112-106, we fall short. Bam played good. Well, not really. His efficiency was pretty awful, I'm not gonna lie there. Game number 4, we do end up winning, and now we're up 3-1. J-Dub has been on a heater. For the first round of the playoffs, J-Dub was struggling big time, but now he's picked his efficiency up right where it should be. And are we going to gentlemen sweep the Mavericks? No, we are not. They do end up pushing back here, and they also defeat us here in Game 6, which means things are going to a Game 7. I have come up with a defensive coach game plan here for Game 7. Let's jump into Simcast, where we do have home court advantage on our side. Can we go out there and get this win? So far, we do have the lead here, but still a very close game. We're not up by 10 points. They are kind of coming back here in the fourth quarter. Let's slow this down a little bit and see what happens. We're up by 1 single point. They are pushing back, but we still have the lead on our side. And thankfully, we go on to win 128-123. And Curry went off here for 47 points, hitting 11 3-pointers. Let's go. 23 from Nah, 17 Pajemski, and 12 from J-Dub. Stephen Curry goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, Paolo Banchero Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which means we're taking on the Orlando Magic here in the NBA Finals. And they have the same starting lineup, pretty good lineup, I'm not gonna lie. All their players are very high overalls. They have Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. Let's see what happens here in the NBA Finals against the Orlando Magic, but actually I want to see how Curry has been doing here. In the playoffs, he's averaging 29 points per game. 15 from Naw, 19 J-Dub, 5 Draymond Green. His playmaking's there, defense, rebounding, all of that. Bam is averaging 18 points per game. What happened to his efficiency? From 51%, it's dropped all the way to 43 here in the playoffs. But hopefully he picks things up here in the NBA Finals. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Curry going off for 27, 24 J-Dub, and 20 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Can we also go on to win game number 2? Let's see here. And we do end up losing game 2, 142 to 141. By 1 single point, we fell short. Bam played amazing, but sadly, we do end up losing. Game number 3, we bounce right back. Curry going off here for 36 points, 24 J-Dub, and 24 from Bam. And there we go. Bam's starting to play a lot better now. Hopefully, he can keep this up. And we go up 3-1. 121 to 114. We end up winning game 4. J-Dub with 23, 17 Curry, and a 17-point double-double from Bam Adebayo. Whoa, Draymond Green had 16 points here, which is amazing. How has he been doing here? 6 points per game. 49% from the field is amazing. Can we close things out here in game 5? Let's jump into Simcast, where we do have home court advantage on our side. And it looks like we will be winning 135 to 117. Stephen Curry dropping 34 points. 25 from J-Dub, and 19 from Pajemski. And just like that, we go on to win the Golden State Warriors a championship, with Bam Adebayo winning Finals MVP. He was averaging 19 points, 13 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 blocks per game. The disrespect for Curry is insane. He was averaging over 28 points per game, but does not go on to win Finals MVP. You know what? We're going to overturn this and give it to Curry. I usually never do this, but in this type of situation, we definitely have to do it. 28 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1 steal on 50, 37, 91 shooting splits. But now let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs before I end out this video. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 22 games, and in those 22 games, the leading scorer was Stephen Curry, averaging 29 points per game. 20 from Jalen Williams, 18-point double-double from Bam, 16 Naw, 11 from Brandon Pajemski, and 9 Monty Kamara. And then in the NBA Finals, where we played a total of 5 games, the leading scorer here was Stephen Curry. The Finals MVP, at least we had to make him the Finals MVP because they were trying to give it to Bam, but he played absolutely amazing. 25 from J-Dub, another amazing player for our team, and a 19-point double-double from Bam, 18 Naw, and 13 from Pajemski. And now that is going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos, and click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.